Good morning and welcome to Naturally Case in Point. I'd like to know, did you pray today? Yeah, did you pray today? Did you wake up with a prayer on your lips? Did you step out of bed with thanksgiving in your heart? Did you pray today? If you didn't, it's okay because I want to share something with you about prayer, a different kind of prayer. A prayer, sometimes we need that selfish kind of prayer. I'm not kidding. Sometimes you go to God and you just want yourself to be blessed right here, right now. Don't care what else is going on, don't care about nobody else. You need that anchored selfish prayer just for you. And I have one for you. It's called the Jabez prayer. It's located in First Chronicles 4:10. And Jabez, the name meant pain. So we don't know if his mother bore him. She says she bore him out of pain, but let's think about it. It could be the physical pain. He had sisters and brothers. Maybe his was the most painful birth. I don't know. Maybe the father was gone and that attributed to the pain. Or maybe she was lonely during the pregnancy. And we don't know. But the bottom line is we know that Jabez came here bearing the name of pain. And I can only imagine during his childhood what he must have went through. Kids are your worst critic. They will tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Kids are on it. So maybe during his childhood, he was ridiculed, he was teased, he was left out of a lot of things. He was just not living a good life at all. But one day, I don't know when, but one day he took it to the Lord in prayer. And the prayer goes like this. And Jabez, now you insert your name, not his name, but Jabez called on God of Israel, saying, "Oh, that thou wouldest bless me indeed." That prayer sounds selfish, but Jabez had a sincere heart as to what he wanted. And he didn't want any trouble because he said, "If you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, my coast." He wasn't looking for a specific, like enlarge my money coast, enlarge my housing coast, enlarge the camel that I have, enlarge anything like that. He wanted his territory enlarged so that maybe when he went places, he wouldn't be met with such ridicule and shame and mockery. I believe that's what his coast meant. After a certain age or just in his life, you get tired of being ridiculed. You get tired of people seeing you come in and have a word that's not pleasant before you get there. So he took it straight to God. And at the end of this prayer, if you follow it, at the end of this prayer, they said, and God granted him that which he requested. That's one of the few prayers that I remember just straight out. God answered his prayer. God answered his prayer, and he tells you that he answered his prayer. Sometimes you have to get up in the morning and you do well to get up, but you have to pray a selfish prayer. You have to pray that prayer that suits you. And this is a Jabez prayer. Pray for God to enlarge your territory, whatever you might need. Some of us, we're going to say we need money, we need a new car, we need this, we need that. Yeah, we need it, but you know what? You're not in pain for it. You're not in any pain for it. You're not in any mental anguish. I mean, you want it, but you'll live. Nobody will mock you because you don't have it. Go in and find somewhere that you need to stand up like Jabez and pray a selfish prayer. And not only when you pray that prayer, believe it. Be sincere about it and know that you're not asking for anything more than you deserve. Some of you deserve a lot. You've been looking and waiting and just wondering when things are going to open up. When is your Red Sea going to part? Prayer, consistent prayer. Continue to pray. Believe in your prayer. Pray a Jabez prayer over your life. Pray it over your children. No, I take that back. Jabez is just for you. I'm sorry. Jabez is a selfish prayer. This is a prayer for you and you alone. Whatever you're covered in, if it's in debt, if it's an addiction, if it's in a love triangle, if it's in a job, pray that selfish prayer. to expand your territory in what's right. Believe it. He did it for Jabez. He can do it for you. Naturally. On today, naturally, find time to pray. I pray every day at noon. Me and my husband, whether we're together or not, there's a noonday prayer going up because this is what I do. Find a prayer schedule that works for you, whether it's getting up out of the bed in the morning or at the end of the day. Just make sure that you pray. I'm going to give you another example here. I was so proud of my granddaughter. Something happened at her school. Of course, now that's the norm. They shut the school down, knife, gun scare, whatever it was. They shut it down. I think it was for a knife scare. Someone threatened a teacher. But anyway, I was so impressed with my granddaughter because her and her girlfriends, now they're in the 7th grade. But as soon as the school went on lockdown, they were like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And they sincerely were afraid because, some things don't make the news. And this didn't. It made local news, but it didn't make world news. They said to each other, give me your hands. Come on, we're going to pray right now. They bowed their heads and they prayed. Wow, what a concept. If kids can think to pray, and I know it was a push situation, but if they can think to pray, we as adults, let's start our days with prayer so that our children can get through. Those two little girls, before it was over, they had about 4 or 5 or 6 of them together before they had to go to wherever it was they had to go for shelter. But they stood there and they held hands and they prayed. And within maybe a half an hour, that situation had remedied itself through prayer. Pray, just pray. Because you don't know, unbeknownst to you, we leave out of our front doors and we're not sure if we're coming back. There's so many fatalities on the highway. There's so many fatalities just people being in a store. Just in a store. There's so many things that could go wrong, but there's a lot of things that are going right through prayer. Pray your selfish prayer naturally. On today, naturally, someone's having a birthday also. We like to say happy birthday from us here at Naturally Case in Point. And you take time out and pray, even though it's your birthday, pray.